All right. So, Phoenix Leader has been following this Yvette Carnell with Breaking Brown. I don't know much about Breaking Brown. Like, all I know is that back in 2016, Yvette Carnell was like, man, I don't really fuck with Clinton. And I was like, you're damn right. And then that's pretty much all I know. I think that's what a lot of us only knew. And we weren't the sort of dedicated audience that sits through her 2-hour broadcast. And but Phoenix Leader, you've got it.
Yes.
Yes.
So, all right, we're doing the clip first?
No.
All right, the thread first. All right, so basically, I follow Talib Kweli on Twitter, and these ADOS niggas have been, like, really upset with Talib Kweli, and Yvette Carnell got involved, and I was like, this just seems fucking shady. Like, there was a really big pile on. They're actually still in his mentions. It's been going on for weeks. And then I'm looking at a lot of these ADOS accounts, and I'm starting to see people I've interacted with before. None of these interactions have been good, by the way. Like, one guy's a fucking conservative. He's black, he's a conservative, he's a veteran. He believes in that fucking QAnon shit. And he was trying to argue with me that the black community doesn't tolerate abuse of black women. Like, what?
No.
No.
Oh, you should be. Look at the Dr. Dre Nothing But a G-Thing video when they're playing volleyball. Yeah. That was a very feminist moment.
Yes. And then, another one of these accounts was arguing with me, saying that, like, feminism is cancer type shit, and also a black conservative, and, saying things that, like, black feminists have never talked about prison abolition before, or the school to prison pipeline, which is, like, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever heard of Angela Davis, maybe, but she talks about that stuff sometimes. So I'm seeing these accounts, and I'm like, what the fuck? These are these ADOS people. And then I'm looking more and more. There's a bunch of them that are white trolls. And then, we've talked about Tariq Nasheed's getting in on this shit with his fucking Tangibles family. Like, bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I, actually made a couple tweets, and I was like, Tariq is gonna pull this shit all the way to the right. And then the more I look at it, I realize, nah, nigga, they already all the way to the fucking right. And so now, I'm hearing, like, this shady shit. They're, like, on this anti-immigration rhetoric. They're, a lot of homophobia. There's a lot of misogyny. And then I'm starting to look at Yvette Carnell, and it turns out... Now, mind you, she's one of the co-founders of this fucking movement. She is, she works with white supremacists. Like, straight up white supremacists.
And there is an irony to Yvette Carnell sort of overlooking the homophobia.
Yeah, because she's a lesbian. So it's just like, all right, then. So she is a board member. And also, don't fucking tweet me about this shit. She fucking said it herself. Go read her goddamn timeline. Because ever since I put up this thread, my mentions of people say, that's not true. You're slandering her. Nigga, she fucking typed it out her goddamn self.
And that's the weird thing. It's like, you're a fan and I'm not. How do you not know they said this shit?
Exactly. Like, there's screenshots and everything. So, this is someone on Twitter. Her @ is Amani Kushan, and she is in a lot of these threads with Talib Kweli as well. And she put this tweet up and said, ADOS co-founder Yvette Carnell admits to being a board member of right-wing think tank PFIR, a known front group for white nationalist John Tanton. This is the source of the xenophobia, the anti-African pro-Trump rhetoric. Now you know. And she screenshotted these two tweets from Yvette Carnell. It says... First, Progressives for Immigration Reform. That's the name of this group. What the fuck is it? Like PIR, whatever. So Progressives for Immigration Reform. She says, first, it's not a right-wing group because progressive is in the name. Apparently that makes it progressive. Fuck ideology. She says, I'm one of 3 blacks on the board, and there were 4 until a recent resignation. Also 2 white environmentalists, including one previously on the Sierra Club board, a diverse group. Secondly, I announced on my show when I joined the board, it's not a secret to anyone who's been following me. Apparently it fucking is. Because these niggas don't know. And so then I was like, all right, well, let me see what the fuck this fucking group is. And so I go to their website. It's progressivesforimmigrationreform.org. And I'm like, all right, let me, just dig around and see what the fuck we have. So, here's the first thing I come across, right? This is on their website. They're obviously proud about this shit. How many people can live on planet Earth? PFIR, so Progressives for Immigration Reform, wants the United States to take the lead in combating global climate change. That's why we support higher mileage requirements for cars and trucks, increased funding for mass transit, replacing coal-fired plants with solar, wind, and other alternative sources. I'm like, okay, that's great. All right, I I'm good for it. However,
What?
they also say we need to stop population growth. I'm sorry, that sounds vaguely like eugenics. Stop population growth.
Go
Okay.
talk to the fucking Catholics.
Shit. And then this is something else under their jobs, wages, and immigration tab. This is their like fucking about me section. Progressives for Immigration Reform is committed to creating a just and flourishing society, one that provides ample economic opportunities for all Americans and where workers across all sectors can earn a decent living. Okay, that's cool. However,
Yeah?
they're blaming immigrants for wage stagnation. We believe reducing current excessive immigration levels is one key to reversing declining economic fortunes of the American worker.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's how capitalism works.
Yeah, if you get rid of the immigrants, then wages go up.
Yeah, everybody gets rich then.
Everyone's gonna get a raise.
Yeah, because then the ownership class is like, holy fuck, there's nothing but Americans here.
And also-
now I gotta pay more money.
Peep this little sly shit. We deplore the great increase in economic inequality.
They're deplorable?
It's deplorable.
Huh.
They're not right-wingers, though. They're progressives. It's in the name.
I guess with that word, Hillary made fetch happen.
She did actually make that
She
happen.
won something.
This is also from their shit. The upshot is that immigrant workers increase competition for American workers, driving down wages and employment opportunities. Immigration from 1980 to 2000 reduced the weekly wages of native workers by 4%. So not the employers, not the CEOs, the immigrants.
Yeah. Because that's who the CEOs listen to. The
Yes.
immigrants were like, hey, man, look, this poverty shit, don't knock it till you try it, buddy.
Yeah,
Lower that
actually-
wage.
Yeah, actually, it's a fun fact. They were going to increase the federal minimum wage for the first time in 10 years, but immigrants were like, no, we like it at $7.25 an hour.
Yeah, they were like, hey, poquito dinero, mucho trabajo, es todo bien, way. That's what they said.
That's what they said.
I heard them.
And then this is another, thing about their environmental conditions. The United States has to greatly increase its humanitarian assistance to the poorest countries in the world. Okay, cool. The focus of such assistance should be to build capacity of those countries to live in harmony with the natural resources available to them. Such development is in the interest of the United States, both to enhance... Stop it.
Fixing the microphone.
both to enhance... I lost my place. Okay. So to enhance global economic welfare and to end population pressures that lead to poverty. In order to effectively address the poverty of working people in developing countries and enhance prospects for sustainable development, U.S. foreign aid should be focused on those investments known to lead to population stabilization. Sounds like eugenics again. We'll only give you foreign aid if you stop breeding. And also, live in harmony with your natural resources. How the fuck is anyone supposed to live in harmony with their natural resources when we keep stealing other people's shit?
Oh, because then you have less of it to live in harmony with. That's less to manage. That's easier, right? You know, You're not like, oh man, we got this whole clean lake and river of water. But they're like, no, now you just got a puddle to work with. That's simple.
And then the first priority should be provision of comprehensive voluntary family planning and reproductive information. Sounds like eugenics again. Bringing the population size into balance with natural resources. Nigga, we have resources. We have a shitty distribution system. It's called capitalism. It has people hoarding shit. There's plenty of shit. So again, fucking sounds like eugenics. And then I keep looking. They have under their news tab, immigration news, they fucking straight up link to Fox News. The hyperlink goes to Fox News. And here's the title of the article. Hundreds of illegal immigrants released into U.S. amid overcrowding at detention facilities.
And then let's reset. These are the folks that Yvette Carnell of Breaking Brown is down with.
Yes. And then this one, they have a straight up hyperlink. Click here to get the Fox News app. Like, what the shit? And then they posted an article for Breitbart. They posted an interview Trump did with Breitbart about the invasion of illegals coming across the southern border. Yep. And the thing is, like, they're not even trying to be subtle, because at the end of the article, it has the name of all the writers, right? Alexander Marlowe is editor-in-chief of Breitbart. Matthew Boyle is the Washington political editor of Breitbart. Amanda House is the deputy political editor of Breitbart. Charlie Spearing is the senior White House correspondent for Breitbart. Like, nigga, they're not even subtle about it. And then they also, under their immigration news, MS-13 members accused of stabbing 16-year-old. Okay. I mean, I thought maybe they were going to talk about like ICE or something.
No, but they said accused, which means it's not settled yet.
Right.
You see, so what they're doing is being nuanced here.
So yeah, so this is who this is who these people are. This is the PFIR, Progressives for Immigration Reform, and Yvette Carnell is on their board, and she's fucking happy about it. Like, she thinks it's a good idea. She said they're progressive. I don't know about y'all, but this shit doesn't sound progressive to me. And then add in, oops, I unplugged. Add in, this organization, PFIR, was founded by a guy named John Tanton. Have you heard of him?
Nope.
He is a conservative who basically is pro-eugenics and is anti-immigration. Holy shit. How could I have known that this organization was like that? Oh, wait, because all their rhetoric fucking reflects that. So here's a direct quote from John Tanton. One of my prime concerns is about the decline of folks who look like you and me. For European American society and culture to persist requires a European American majority, and a clear one at that. Wow. Not racist at all.
It's not, because they said a clear one, so like they're getting away from color. You see? See, now, so maybe you're the real racist.
Yes. And so then I just have, some stuff about this guy, John Tanton, who founded this Progressives for Immigration Reform. Yvette Carnell, co-founder of ADOS, is on the board. This is what ADOS supports, okay? So, here's just, a couple things. He has another organization, this John Tanton guy. It's called the Society for Genetic Education, and it's pro-eugenics. Wow. It's like a trend with this guy. He's also was the founder of FAIR, which is the Federation for American Immigration Reform, which is like the blatantly, openly conservative version.
Yeah,
of
let's do that acronym again.
Sure, FAIR, Federation for American Immigration Reform.
All right, not to be confused with FAIR, the fairness and accuracy in reporting, I think it is.
Yes.
Not the same folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, he was a national president of a group called Zero Population Growth. What the fuck?
All right.
Man?
Very subtle.
Very subtle. Yeah. And so he has, quote, openly embraced eugenics, the science of improving genetic quality of the human population by encouraging selective breeding and at times advocating for the sterilization of genetically undesirable groups. In 1975, he wrote a paper arguing for passive eugenics, whereby childbearing should be restricted to people based on their age. And then, of course, his typical anti-immigration stuff, where he's again talking about we need to have European American majorities. And so, yeah, that's the guy. This is obviously a white supremacist, this is obviously a racist, promoting eugenics, anti-immigrants. And he founded FAIR. Right? And that's where Yvette Carnell is on the board. This is who Yvette Carnell opted to work with. And some people were like, well, but just because she works with them doesn't necessarily mean it has anything to do with ADOS somehow, some way. So I just want to pull up a quote from Yvette Carnell. I mean, she's kind of blatant about what the fuck she's doing if y'all would read her fucking Twitter. She says, this is a direct quote in one of her tweets. Lastly, I joined the PFIR board to advocate for the style of politics I'm doing right now, which promotes an ADOS justice claim and our primacy to other people of color and immigrant groups. #lineage matters. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what Yvette Carnell is doing. And that's why I really don't fuck with ADOS. Because, there was a lot of, red flags with all the fucking homophobia, all the fucking misogyny, and then, Tariq got involved with the fucking everyone who doesn't like it is moist or a coon or a bedwench, and I was like, I'm gonna keep looking at it, and now this is what we have. Literally, the leader of ADOS is working with a white supremacist organization that wants to sterilize brown and black people. Yeah, that's Yvette.
Yeah, and then, she has a short video clip up you said you saw where Yvette Carnell is saying, Donald Trump, this is the title of the video on YouTube. Donald Trump is so right about how poor black people are. Mm-hmm. All of us.
Yes, all of us.
Yeah,
Equally poor, like Beyonce.
And that's a fact.
Oprah.
Donald Trump said, because I'm really not. I really expected black people to go in on Donald Trump when he said that we're poor. Because part of the problem is that we're delusional. Like, we don't believe we're poor. We can give you all type of statistics talking about how you should give black people opportunities. You should help black people. But the minute Donald Trump says you're poor, what do you have to lose? Black people had a problem.
See,
and it makes no sense.
Oh, my bad.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this is like disingenuous in its own way, because when Donald Trump said that, he meant to vote for him and not Hillary. He said the Democratic Party is doing nothing for you. What do you have to lose by voting for Republican? That was where the fuck it was meant to go. And she's being really disingenuous about that, acting like he wasn't talking about voting for him. Also, there's a picture of her wearing a MAGA hat, by the way.
That's fun.
Yeah, like that exists. So yeah, it's fucking disingenuous as shit to me. Like, yeah, he said that to get black voters, not, and obviously he doesn't care about black people.
Said black people are poor. He said your schools are failing. What do you have to lose? And that's just the truth. And, I was watching MSNBC earlier this week, and I saw this woman. I don't know who she was on MSNBC. I don't know if I've seen her before. I obviously didn't remember her. But I saw her say, well, he's being condescending to black people, and not all black people are poor. And I'm kind of sick of hearing that. Because most black people are poor or in the working class. Like, that's poverty. This is what happens.
All right, so let's see. Right, so you'd vote for Republicans to get something different from Democrats, because what do you have to lose?
Right.
And I remember when I was in Florida voting in 2012, and there was actually Republicans had got it up on the ballot, I think state referendum.
Yeah.
And headphone cords.
Yes.
And and they had it up there saying that they wanted like private little white Republican Christian schools should get public school funding.
Yeah.
And that would come out of the public schools and go to those private schools.
Yes.
And that was Republicans pushing that.
Yes.
And then Cory Booker is like the king of charter schools out there in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But that shit comes from Republicans. They push that shit hard. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing them pop up in Tacoma in Washington State. Like I think McCarver became a charter school. And what you saw, like, I remember seeing, and we're right there on, I think it was J Street, either J Street or MLK, but like we were right there. I think you would call it smack dab in the hood. And like over those years since I had moved there in 1996, you just watched that, you saw less and less black children going in and out of that school, and then you saw uniforms come into play.
Yeah. And
then you basically just saw a few black children, mostly white children, in uniforms going in and out of that building.
Yep.
In the hood.
Yep. And then, of course, what is the other type of shit that Republicans support, right? Always increased military budgets, increased police budgets, giving police military-grade weapons, creating more and more penalties for black people for minor crimes.
Yeah,
right?
Look,
Fucking what? It's Republicans right now who are trying to ban sex workers from being able to vote if they have a prostitution charge conviction.
Yeah, but then that's incentive to not do that. You see, that's how you get sex workers to quit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, and then like you said, getting charged more for like small petty crimes.
Yes.
Then they won't commit those anymore.
Right.
These are the facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what else will Republicans do? What are they kind of known for?
Oh, fucking reducing regulations on shit, and then everything gets polluted and on fire and breaks down.
Oh, that's not true. You made that up.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So what about when it comes to uteruses? Huh? Uteri, if you will. You said they're loosening up regulations, ma'am.
Yeah, they are. They're loosening up the regulation of what counts as a baby.
Nigga.
Yeah, you saw that. We covered that shit too. I forgot what state it was, but basically they banned abortion.
Yeah.
Like they said, they just passed a law that said you can't have one after 6 weeks. Nigga, you don't even fucking know you're pregnant at 6 weeks. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, but I mean, you know, what have we got to lose?
Stuff. And that's the thing. We actually do have some shit to lose. Like you and me in this household.
We have a few things we could lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, by voting Republican. Fuck voting Republican, man.
Yeah. I'm not fucking excited about no damn Democrat.
Right.
But it's like, man, Republicans, why are you even trying? Like, why do you even pretend you have any interest in the black vote? Like, at this point, I think you're far past the Lee Atwater times. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, first Republican to just openly say nigger on a non-hot mic, but like as part of their speech. Mm-hmm. Is they got to, especially if they're running like at a state level, or like a city council level, they got it.
They do.
Nationally, they're gonna lose on the respectability politic, but fucking state level, city level, they're in there. Mm-hmm. Telling you, do it. What state senator running Republican? Pick, especially if you're like in Kentucky or one of those places, you know how it is. Yeah. Say nigger as part of your speech. Be like, if you vote for me, I will keep these niggers under control.
Yeah, that would actually win in a lot of places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big time. Big Lee.
Yeah, so yeah, just fucking, what have you got to lose? A couple things, actually. And then, of course, you know, there's always the Mike Pence with the Indiana HIV outbreak thing. Right? When he was governor of Indiana, defunded Planned Parenthoods where people were getting STD testing, refused to open up a clean needle exchange because Jesus doesn't like them. And then there was an HIV outbreak. So a bunch of people in Indiana just had HIV from sharing needles.
Which, I mean, fucking, like, what's that horn crown they put on his head? Wasn't that a bunch of needles? Jesus loves needles.
Jesus loves needles.
Okay.
They were thorns, but the same thing.
I bet they weren't clean. Jesus loves dirty needles. Fuck out of here.
So, yeah, I mean, I just, like, it's just disingenuous. But, you know, this whole fucking, like, I don't know, roundabout way or just trying to be slick with shit. Like, oh, he was right. We're poor. Okay, yeah, we're poor. He was right. But then you said, what was that? What do you got to lose? Yeah, he meant to vote for him. Like, don't be fucking obtuse on purpose. You know exactly what he meant. And you know he doesn't give a fuck about black people either, so stop it. But then again, when you work with a white supremacist or work at an organization founded by a white supremacist who thinks that we should deny people basic foreign aid until they get sterilized, you know.
You know, and then also there are gay black people. And they would lose their right to fucking be able to fucking get married and file jointly, have hospital visitation rights because they don't have marriage license, right? It's marriage license and certificate. That's it. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to have that shit. And like, I'm not gonna get up there and go vote against gay black people. What are you shitting me?
Right.
Those are my niggas. They black. You know. Yeah, man, that's just fucking goofy. Yeah, so Republicans, stop pretending, quit fronting. It's corny. You're wasting speech time. I'd literally rather you get up there and do nigger jokes. At least I'd get a good segment out of it. All right? And let's go to Trump's audio, what he said. You know, not too different from what she said here. Skibby doop doop bop boop bop ba doo.
Yes.
Oh, it's horrible.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's his walking up music. Oh, what the fuck is that music?
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No.
Why is he trying to Tupac with his voice? Then African Americans, can you feel me? Oh, fucking Trump Pac.
No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community.
On the realest niggas. Hillary Clinton came to inflict pain. So Donald Trump came to give y'all niggas game. On a Britney Spears instrumental.
Yes.
Pain on the African American community. She could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
And I like the things that he pointed out specifically, like, your schools are shit. Okay, so what is he doing right now about public school funding?
Yeah, considering that he did win, and like, I forget the fucking numbers. Like, everybody remembered the 52% of white women, but there was a surprising percent of assumed cis black men.
It wasn't that many.
Not that many.
No.
Wait, let's see if we can figure define
if
it.
Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain.
But yeah, I was
on
talking about like
the
unemployment and shit,
African-American
nigga. Okay, so where's your initiative to get black people hired?
Ben Carson.
Uh-huh.
You see, because remember, representation matters. So now all the black people see, oh, Ben Carson got that job, and now I can go get a job. And then they did. And now black unemployment's at 0.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's working.
Everybody's working.
You don't know. You're just trying to find reasons to hate.
Nigga, you don't know.
I don't. I actually don't look at these. I've reached a point where, like, I talk about mostly sex workers' rights and trans rights and Flint, Michigan water updates and white on white crime that, like, you throw some policy at my face and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is that a ballot measure? What the fuck is that? I don't know. Is that an amendment? I don't know.
An amendment? Let's see. It looks like...
Okay, Phoenix Cleater's looking up the percentages of people that voted for Trump by dimmered graphics.
Like 9% of black men that voted.
Oh, that's kind of... you know what? Yeah, that's what Republicans always get.
Yeah, it's not really...
Yeah, because Democrats really don't really go under like 90% of the black vote in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, man, remember, Democrats, it's not like black people are voting for you. They're just voting against Republicans.
Well, that's the whole fucking party platform. Hey, at least we're not Republicans.
Yep. And that's kind of it for everybody, really.
Yeah.
Every single group of people, it's like, hey, you want me or the Republican? You see him with his fucking hat on.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen, and you know what, I have not been alive that long, and you only do the president thing every 4 or 8 years.
Yeah.
But I've never seen somebody fucking campaign with a baseball cap on. I've never, like, to where that is literally part of the campaign is a fucking baseball cap.
Ain't them shits made in China? Or Mexico?
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think the hats are made in China. His ties were made in Mexico. Yeah.
That was a glorious moment when somebody like said that, and this guy who was, had the hat, he's like, "Nuh-uh, that's not true." And they're like, "Take off your hat and look at it." And he was so mad. He was like, and he got very sad.
But then, you know what? He's probably still an arse.
Oh, sure.
Guarantee it.
Naturally.
All right, so that'll be that.
Yes.
We recorded this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put a bunch of shit around it and make that the Patreon only full episode. But this is hitting the socialized feed.
Yes.
Is what I want to try to start calling it now.
Okay.
All right,
Socialized feed. All right.
We do pass around the old tip jar there, the paypal.me/Phoenix and William. And folks can sign up for those when the Patreon only program drops and get the other recent Patreon only shows. They're really good audio. I sit there and I craft and engineer them and splice and cut and edit stuff together and try to make a really good audio experience for you at patreon.com/Wine Cellar Media Fund. Get with it. Really dope audio. And I think that will be that for this. Please be as safe as possible wherever you are.